Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make this wall drawers, and it's a simple family base. You can make the same piece of furniture as a standalone family, or you can go and make it as a wall base so it can be always attached to any wall that you create, plus to be specifically attached to the ground, also to the level beneath it also. So let's go and do that. To pick up a new family here, and again, if you want it to be freestanding, you just pick up metric furniture and everyone will be very happy. If you want it to be following a wall, so you have to take here a metric generic model wall based, and in here you need to create references, actually two of them, one here and the other one here. And with the DI you just select two aligned, make them equal, those two dimensions, and then this one to this one, and just add a parameter here, and let's call it length. You specify whether it's type or instance, that's a different story here. So I'm gonna go okay, flex this dude, and let's make it 1000 maybe. It's working perfectly. Now I need another reference here. DI, it's a good idea when you hit this to hit tab, make sure you are selecting the reference, not the face of the wall. Again, we said that in a couple of times in previous videos. And I'm gonna call this width, and oopsie, I should have made this an instance, and by the time we are here should have just flexed it to 600, and it's working perfectly. Now that's the structural wireframing of the drawers. Let me go to the placement, and the same thing, that's the elevation, the placement size. I'm gonna make a reference here, and again I'm gonna add here this one, another dimension, and add a labeled parameter to it, and I'm gonna call it height. Same old story, flex it, I don't know, maybe 600. Working perfectly. Probably 900 is better for that. Now I'm gonna return to the reference level, and here I'm gonna create another two reference planes. Those two dudes represent the thickness of the wood. So again, be careful when you hit DI to make the align dimension to go from the new one to the old one. So that's the new from it to the old one. Don't make them the other way around. You're gonna mess up the entire thing. Take this, add the parameter, and I'm gonna call it wood thickness or whatever. Make it instance, and you start to notice that it's too ugly, it's too big. So you go here and make them smaller, make your life easier. Now again, I'm gonna create one here, and I think I need a one here also. So DI here from this to this, to new to the old, from the new one to the old one. Select them both and add the wood thickness, flex all those four together, make them 30, and I think they are working perfectly. So now all we need is to do the side. I'm gonna start, actually that's for the wireframing or the structure, whatever you want to call it. It's a non-physical representation that controlled by parameters. Now you need to create the actual physical geometry of the drawers, which represented by the extruded objects. So I'm gonna take an extrude, pick, and then let's make those. You can pick those all the way like that and leave the drawers to be shown, or you can pick from that edge down. It's almost whatever you want, you know, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever you want your design to be, the face to be flush or the edge, whatever you want. So I'm gonna click this, lock, and again repeat this 4 times. It's a good idea to pick the reference, not the wall face. TR here on the keyboard to make this 2 lines trimmed or fillet, whatever you want to call it. Now let's do the other side in the same object. So again, pick and ignore this because it's telling you that's the overlap here. Just ignore it. Careful when you try to lock, they are above each other, so careful what you are locking or unlocking actually. Again with tab until you see the dashed line. See what I did? I didn't pick this wall face, not the center line. Tab again. Careful of what you pick. You should pick always the constructional reference. Oh, if you notice I made a mistake here. So undo. When you pick, lock, pick, lock. Otherwise it's gonna mess up the entire work. So be careful with this. Trim by selecting this here and this here to remove all extra, and the same thing here and here. Now I'm gonna finish the selection and then go to the placement side and push that up and push that also up here. So that's the geometry, that's the start, that's the end, that's the controller that will control them actually of whatever you want. So before you go ahead and be happy about it, I'm gonna create a reference here with a DI, and that should be wood thickness, the same old parameter. Now you can go ahead, move that to the reference and then lock it as such, and everything is gonna be okay. Now the lower thing, I'll just slightly make this slightly more complicated or more detailed, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna create a reference here, and this dude I'm gonna call him leg height or whatever. Make it instance also, and then flex him to, let's say 100. Where is it? Leg height, yeah, 100. So that's the area where the legs actually sit. So again, another reference here, another DI here, from the new to the old. Don't forget this golden rule, and again give it a WT or wood thickness. And again, it's kind of start to be messy. Make it smaller. Select the geometry, push that down to here, lock, and everyone is happy. I highly encourage you to flex things from time to time, so don't leave it to the end of the time and then you'll find that there's lots of messy things you don't know how to fix. So I'm gonna make this bigger and it's working perfectly. I'm gonna change the height a little bit so it should goes correctly, and then I'm gonna flex the leg height into 150, and again it's working perfectly. So my work so far so good, so happy and with it. So proceed to the next step. So get back to the reference level again. Now let's make the top of this drawer. So again, pick line. So I'm gonna pick this, lock it, that, and so on. Careful here, don't take the face, not the center line, and keep tapping until you see the reference. Lock, trim, now placement again, push that up, lock, push the lower surface up, and then lock. Now repeat this painful experience, and again Now you can see that's actually we created the box floating in the middle of the air, as you can see. And now if I shade this, you're gonna see that really it's actually seeing the back of the wall, and we don't want that. So we can go to the reference again, and then I'm gonna create here another extrusion, and then click you know what to do. Trim them all together. And then go to the placement. Always do things in elevation, in the plan, sorry, and then fix them in elevation and so on and so on. So I'm gonna fix that to this point, and then lock it and fix this to whatever this level, and then lock it. So when you go to 3D, that's an actual wood panel here. See, it's not the wall itself, and that's kind of important if you want to make this family actually operable, and you can see what's inside. If it's not operable, so just ignore this step. Now let's do the legs. So I need another reference planes, a group of reference here. So that's 1 and that's 2. So now this let's call it leg width or whatever, and let's make it I don't know, 60, 80. Hit OK, and it's working perfectly, as you can see. Now create and then another geometry here. You can go pick whatever techniques you like. You can even copy paste, but I'm not really a big fan of that. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes I don't know. Ignore the warning for overlapping as long as you are trimming correctly. Just keep ignoring the warning, I know, kind of annoying. And be careful where you lock. Now, technically we've done the legs, so let's go and go to the placement side. And again, the upper level with this here. Lock that dude here, and we got our legs here, as you can see. Flex them. So let's make this 180, sorry, 60, and you can see they are working perfectly. Now the last thing to be done is we go to the placement themselves, the placement side, create here one, and then the other one here, and hit DI, and then select 1, 2, 3, 4 and make them equal. And now by this you created the height of those to be whatever equal distances between this height from this point to this point, sorry, from this point to this point, according to the change of the height parameter itself. Again, back to the reference, and technically they're gonna sit here. So create an extrusion, pick again, so, and technically they're gonna sit to the inside face. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, this one. It should be this. Then you trim. Then you finish. Then you control the height in the placement side. So it should be here, lock, and then here, and then lock. Alright, so now repeat this 2 times technically. Now to the second, lock, to the third, and lock. So in order just to have a look what we're doing this. And I'm doing this on purpose so you can see the seam line between them, which is much better. Now the last thing is this. Trim everything. Finish that, go to the placement, move that up, and oops, that's an annoying thing. Yeah, this dude here. Great. So if I go to the placement, that one should be sit here, and then it should be locked. The upper one, just let me check if I didn't lock it. Yes, I didn't lock it. So lock, and then now let's flex and hope not to mess up things, and let's change the height to 1 meter and hit apply, and you see it's working perfectly. Now let's just finish this, and I'm gonna come here, and in the elevation I'm gonna create another reference line here like this. Sorry, another reference plane actually, like this. One here, and then one here, and then one here, and I'm gonna lock them together. I can just select those and give them a new parameter. Call it whatever you want, just to make them unique, and then just give it like I don't know, 50. And same thing here. I'm gonna create 2 reference plane, and then DI like that, equalize them, and then click again. This dude, you can make it open length or whatever. Flex this, make it maybe 300. I think it's enough. And you can see that we have the placement where we need to make the opening. So in the create, I'm gonna make an extrusion pick, and then pick all those lines, lock them together, trim them, repeat that step, make them the same object. So You don't torture yourself by making this process 3 times as a 3 extrusion. You can make it actually 3 times by 3 segregated or separated objects. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And here, make sure that you are making void from the property. Just scroll down and hit here void. Now hit OK. Now they are actually voids, and to control them correctly, because they might go usually here in the wrong place, of course, because starting on the active reference plane. But that's the solid. So where to start, where to end, that's really important. That's the piece of face or facing panel here. Just lock it here as long as this is locked as bigger than that. So just lock it. Probably you might need a reference here, and to DI this to that, and just lock it just to make this always the void bigger than the solid. So when the user or you actually change, it shouldn't it actually, when you change that, it shouldn't, when you reduce that or increase that, doesn't pass and cause this to be failed. Anyway, for some reason it doesn't show me the lock, which is, I totally don't like that. Anyway, so let's go to this, and you can see that's the placement of this handle or gaps are existed. So again, cut. It's okay if all of them disappear. Just be patient. Go to the same place. See, it disappeared. Don't freak out. Just select this solid, then go to the original one and cut it out. Now let's flex this. Let's go to the opening. Make this, I don't know, 40. See, working. The length of that also you can flex. All right. Let's reduce the height maybe to 900. See if they are crashing perfectly. They are not crashing. So I wish that you find that tutorial useful. Thank you very much and have a good day.